and take any questions.
Thanks, Bradley. All right, so thank you guys for sticking with us so far. I'm just going to give a brief review. So if you don't want to scare your audience with your visuals, you can try using the scare method that we've presented today for steps to build your visual aid. First, you want to select meaningful titles. This is going to help you come up with a layout for your overall story. You don't want to be misleading with your titles. Be direct. After that, you can create a message. Be concise and make the points relevant to your story. After you've done that and you've focused on the text that's going to go on your slides, you can apply visual effects. So come up with a color scheme, something to carry a theme throughout and tell your story. Next, you can reinforce the message with graphics. So add pictures, add charts and graphs to present numerical data. Just add some more interest on the screen to help deliver your message. Finally, review your presentation and edit your efforts. You don't want to have typos or blurry images that distract from the message that you're trying to give your audience. So make sure you go back in. A good thing to do is to practice your presentation on the big screen so you can see how the images you've put onto your slides will translate for the audience. And now I am going to open up the floor for questions.
Sure. What is the best way to create a storyboard?
Yeah. The best way to create a storyboard is starting with your titles. Select what you want to say, break it down into parts, and try to play it in some way that those titles can tell a story or follow a specific flow you want to put. You need to create some connections that activity will force you to create those connections between the points and will help you also to move your audience from point A to point B and the rest of your presentation with a logic and a flow that will improve your communication skills.
Any other questions?
How do you modify titles for negative messages or like
So to modify titles for negative scenarios, so that's the question, right? You may remember from previous classes that when you need to give a negative information, you want to use an indirect method. You can do that also with your titles. It's not that you're going to go with a deceiving title or a generic one, but you can use a passive voice. You can try to focus on the good things, in the little bites of light that this opportunity presents. Pretty much like you do when you're doing feedback to somebody else, that you want to start with something positive and then go to the negative aspect of it. Anything else?
What is another reliable source for editing your presentation?
So the question was, what is another reliable source for editing your presentation?
So peer reviews, getting your professor. I forget what it's called, but I know on campus we have a place that peer reviews our stuff for us.
CMC.
The CMC, yes. And I'm sure if you looked hard enough, you can find someone online to peer review it as well.
How did you guys come up with your activities?
Brainstorming.
We did a lot of brainstorming.
Yeah.
So we kind of figured out which one would work for which recommendation and applied.
And also we follow this thought process. We have the topic, we choose a theme that worked very well with the topic. And taking from the theme, we wanted to create activities that allow us to make or strengthen the point we were talking about for each activity.
All right, that'll wrap up our Q&A.